Hey everyone, welcome to this video. I'm Minxlaura123 and this is going to be my reading wrap up for the month of July. So in this video I'm going to be telling you what books I read in July, what they're about, if I like them or not, that kind of thing. So I hope you enjoy watching. If you do, please click like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel. That would be awesome. And hey, don't forget to smash the notification bell, then you can find out when I've uploaded new content, also when I'm doing live streams. So I read a lot of books in the month of July. I'm very proud of myself actually. So I've got some facts here, some stats, reading stats for me. I read a total of 19 books in July, which is I think it's pretty cool. So out of those I had 10 5-star reads, so a good reading month for me. There were a few 3 stars etc and 2 stars, but in general I did enjoy the books that I read. The longest book that I read this month was The City Beautiful by Aidan Polydorus. That was 480 pages. And I also had some graphic novels and audiobooks as well. So yeah, a nice little mixture for me this month. So I've got all my notes here. I'm going to tell you the titles of the books, the authors, and what a little bit of what they're about and how many stars I gave each book out of 5 on my Goodreads page. By the way, talking about Goodreads, if you want to come follow me on Goodreads, please do. I love Goodreads, and I'll put the link down below to my Goodreads page. Also, in this video, if you carry on watching, I'm going to be showing you the book I'm currently reading. Okay, well, literally just started reading. And also the TBR game. Yes, the month is here for August, and my lovely fiance Nathan has played the TBR game. So I've already filmed that, and I'm going to add that in at the end of the video so you can see what book he chose me, what mystery book from my bookcase he's chose me to read in August. So all that is coming up. Okay, don't forget, let me know in the comment section down below what book you are currently reading. The glasses are on, so that means business. Okay, so the first book I read in July. Now, by the way, some of these books I have here next to me, so I can hold them up and show you. Others I haven't got anymore because I've sold them on eBay, or they're not here anymore basically. But yeah, I'll put the links down below to all of the books that I mentioned, all the Goodread links. So if you want to read other people's reviews, find out more info about the books, etc., please do. I'll list all of the books that I mentioned in the video down below. So yeah, the first book I read in July was The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. Now I love Grady Hendrix books, so I was mega hyper and excited for this. So in horror movies, the final girl is the one who's left standing when the credits roll, the one who fought back, defeated the killer and avenged her friends, the one who emerges blooded but victorious, but after the sirens fade and the audience moves on, what happens to her? So yeah, I thought this book was just going to be excellent. I thought it was going to be a thriller. I was going to, a bit of horror. I just didn't like it. I didn't find it very scary. I found it very confusing. It went all over the place. I didn't like the characters. It was just a bit odd, really, a bit meh. So I gave it 2 stars, and I think that was quite generous, to be honest. I did DNF it over halfway because I was just not feeling it at all. I wasn't enjoying it. So really sad, because as I say, I normally love Grady Hendrix books. The next book I read was The Great Garden by Meg Rossoff. Now, everyone has been raving about this book. It's such a big book, and people say, oh, it's coming of age book and things like that. A little bit, I think people are saying it's a little bit similar to I Captured the Castle, etc. So I thought I'd check it out. So it says, everyone talks about falling in love like it's the most miraculous, life-changing thing in the world. Something happens, they say, and that's what happened when I met Kit Godden. I looked into his eyes and I knew, only everyone else knew too. Everyone else felt exactly the same way. So yeah, this is, as I've put on my notes here, a coming-of-age novel about love, family, friendship. It was okay, but I just found it a bit wishy-washy. I was just kind of bored, and when I got to the end I was like, oh, that's that book done, kind of thing. But I also wanted to get to the end to find out what happened. So because of that reason, and the fact that I didn't DNF it or anything, I gave it a 3 stars. But just really boring. Really boring. Next book I read in July was Falling by TJ Newman. That had been a book that I'd wanted to read for ages. So when it finally come out, really happy, excited to get it. So it says here, you just boarded a flight to New York. There are 143 other passengers on board. What you don't know is that 30 minutes before the flight, your pilot's family was kidnapped. For his family to live, everyone on your plane must die. The only way the family will survive is if the pilot follows his orders and crashes the plane enjoy the flight like you're gonna. Look, I'll be honest with you, I have a terrible phobia of flying, and after reading this book I'm even more scared and terrified of flying. Look, this was a really good thriller. It was very atmospheric, it was very like edge of your seat kind of action. It felt like, you know, you were in that kind of scenario and you were living through it. The only thing, I would have given it 5 stars, but I ended up giving it a 4-star because I just was a little bit predictable. And also the ending, I'm not going to give any spoilers by the way, but the ending I just found a little bit silly and I was like, what? So, that, you know, that's why it lost a point. But overall, really good thriller, did enjoy it, and yeah, definitely a 4-star for that one. Next book I read was, oh yeah, Rise to the Sun by Leah Johnson. So, I said, hold on, sorry, my phone's, my notifications are going off. I was like, what? So, Rise to the Sun, Leah Johnson. Olivia is an expert at falling in love and being dumped, but after the fallout from her last breakup has left her an outcast at school and at home, she's determined to turn over a new leaf. A crush-free weekend at Farmland Music and Arts Festival with her best friend is just what she needs to get her mind off the senior year that awaits her. Tony is 1 week away from starting college, and it's the last place that she wants to be. Unsure about who she wants to become and still reeling in the wake of the loss of her musician turned roadie father, she's heading back to the music festival that changed his life in hopes that following in his footsteps will help her find her way forward. 2 girls arrive at Farmland. The last thing they expect is to realise that they'll need to join forces in order to get what they're searching for out of the weekend. As they work together, the festival becomes so much more complicated than they ever bargained for, and Olivia and Tony will find that they need each other and music more than they ever could have imagined. I'm really sorry because I know people love this book, but I just thought it was an okay read. Like, I did enjoy it, but I just found it really predictable again, really obvious, predictable, and I didn't particularly like that kind of insta love, like when you meet someone and like 10 minutes later you're in love with them and you've got this bond and that, like, I don't know. I just found it a little bit silly at times, and you know, there were issues that I did enjoy reading about and stuff, but overall I just thought it was meh. It was okay, 3 stars. Next up, Razorblade Tears by S.A. Crosby. This book was freaking amazing. It felt like a film playing out in my mind, and I think it might be being turned into a film, which is really cool. Now, I'm not going to go on too much about this book because I actually did a separate video, which I'll link down below to it, like a book review that I did solely on that book because I loved it so much. But just a quick kind of recap. It's about a black father, a white father, 2 murdered sons, a quest for vengeance. This book deals with grief, family, sexuality, revenge, love, and it was just absolutely amazing. So, like, wow, if you want to find out more about it in depth, please watch my book review video on that. But of course I did give Razorblade Tears a 5-star review. Next book I read was a YA horror thriller called It's Behind You by the lovely Catherine Foxfield. So it says, welcome to the reality game show that will scare you to death. Have you got what it takes to last the night? 5 contestants must sit tight through the night in dark and dangerous Umber Gorge caves, haunted by a ghost called the Puckered Maiden. But is it the spirit that they should fear, or each other? As the production crew ramps up the fright, secrets start to be revealed. These teenagers have hidden motives for taking part in It's Behind You, and could some of them be murder? This book was spooky, it was creepy. I love that kind of reality TV show with a paranormal mix. Really well wrote. Yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I gave it 5 stars. It was great. The next book I didn't particularly enjoy it. Well, I started to enjoy at the beginning and then I just kind of got bored, but it was by Lex Croucher and it's called Reputation. I'll be honest with you, it was kind of like a cover by, I'd seen the picture of the book cover and I was like, oh my god, that's so pretty and cute, like ladies on the cover with like beautiful dresses, very kind of Regency style. It said it was a mixture between Mean Girls and like Jane Austen. I was like, okay, that sounds interesting, and it's not my cup of tea. I don't normally read like historical fiction and stuff, but I thought it sounded like cool and different, and I was kind of took in by that beautiful cover. But so yeah, a classic rom-com with a Regency era twist for fans of Mean Girls, Jane Austen. Abandoned by her parents, middle-class Georgina Ellers has moved to a new town to live with her dreary aunt and uncle. A particularly dull party, she meets the enigmatic Frances Campbell, a wealthy member of the in-crowd who lives a life Georgina couldn't have imagined in her wildest dreams. Lonely and vulnerable, Georgina falls in with Frances and her unfathomably rich, deeply improper friends. Georgina is introduced to a new world, drunk and debauchery, mysterious young men with strangely arresting hands, and the upper echelons of Regency society. But the price of entry to high society might just be higher than Georgina is willing to pay. So I put my notes here, like, this isn't my normal cup of tea. I don't really read historical fiction, as I say, but yeah, it started off really well. Like, I was like, oh, actually, I'm quite surprised by this. I'm really enjoying it. And then kind of halfway through, I was thinking, oh, it's just getting a bit boring and predictable, and you know, the fact that it's not my cup of tea kind of was like the nail on the coffin. So I just had to kind of stop reading it. I gave it a 3 stars because I did enjoy the first half of the book. So I thought, well, but otherwise, it was just a bit boring for me. The next one I want to talk about is The Lost Spells, and that is by Robert McFarlane. Now, I listened to this on an audiobook, which I got from BorrowBox, which is our library service's free audiobooks, and it's really great to listen to these audiobooks, especially ones where it was like this, where there's so many different like sound effects, and it just felt like magical experience listening to it. Would I have got the same experience reading the book? I don't know, but the fact that it had like these amazing sounds of nature and animals, like, it's just so enchanting. It was beautiful. So basically, The Lost Spells is a beautiful collection of poems, illustrations that evoke the magic of the everyday natural world. So, as I say, I listened to it on the audio. It didn't last long. It's like, I think it was about 40 minutes long. But it just felt, I was just so into it, like the sounds of nature, and as I say, the poems were just beautiful and touching. I really, really enjoyed it. Definitely a 5-star. So, I mean, obviously, I didn't get to see the beautiful illustrations during the audio, but I went on Google afterwards and looked up the book images and saw the beautiful artwork in that. So it's up to you. Like, if you want to check it out, like the audiobook, you get, you know, the bonus of these beautiful like sounds and stuff, like soundscape kind of vibe, or you can just look at the pictures, so you get that from the actual book. So, but yeah, 5 stars for that. It's absolutely beautiful. I sounded really posh then. Really beautiful. I just realised I've got some of the books here that I can show you. Okay, right, I nearly forgot to actually show you. Okay, no, it's fine. I haven't mentioned any of the books here that I've got. That's okay. Anyway, actually, this one I have. I've got That Weekend. I can show you this one by Cara Thomas. By the way, I'm actually selling this. Move my big head out of the way. I'm actually selling this on my eBay. So if you want to buy it, it's not sold. It's been on there a couple of weeks. Really good condition, as you can see. A hardback YA thriller. So yeah, check my eBay out, Minx Laura, on eBay. But yeah, Cara Thomas, I love her books. I love The Cheerleaders so much. That was such a fantastic book that she wrote. So 3 best friends, a lake house, a secret trip, what could go wrong? It was supposed to be the perfect prom weekend getaway, but it's clear something terrible happened when Claire wakes up alone and blooded on a hiking trail with no memory of the past 48 hours. 3 went up the mountain, but only 1 came back. Now, everyone wants answers, most of all Claire. She remembers Friday night, but after that, nothing. And now Kat and Jessie, her best friends, are missing. That weekend changes everything. What happened on the mountain? Where are Kat and Jessie? Claire knows the answers are buried somewhere in her memory, but as she's learning, everyone has secrets, even her best friends, and she's pretty sure she's not going to like what she remembers. So yeah, I love Cara Thomas's writing. I love YA thrillers, or thrillers in general, so, you know, obviously that was good. I felt this book just kind of went on too long. Sorry, my dad's phoning me. I had to cut him off. I'll ring him back in a bit. Trust him to ring me as I'm doing this, but anyway, he didn't know. But yeah, like, I just found it went on a little bit too long. It was just like, come on. Like, every page is like, you know, I don't know. I think it dragged on a little bit longer than it should have. It could have all been tied up a lot quicker. But overall, it was good. I gave it 4 stars, and I still, you know, stand by the fact that Cara Thomas is an amazing author. The next book I have here as well to show you. Hold on. So this I was actually gifted by the lovely author himself, Aidan Polydorus. Here it is, a proof copy. So I don't know if this is going to be the final cover or it's going to be similar, but either way, like, it's all good. This is a beautiful cover. So yeah, thank you, by the way, if he's watching. Aidan, you are fantastic as an author and as a person. I really appreciate that you gifted me that. So yeah, the proof copy. Haunting, queer, Jewish historical thriller. Death lurks around every corner in this unforgettable Jewish historical fantasy about a city and the shadows of the past that bind them both together. So it's set in Chicago in 1893. For Walter Rosen, this is the land of opportunity, and he dreams of the day he'll have enough money to bring his mother and sisters to America, freeing them from the oppression they face in his native Romania. But when Walter's best friend Yakov becomes the latest victim in a line of murdered Jewish boys, his dream begins to slip away. While the rest of the city is busy celebrating the World's Fair, Walter is now living a nightmare, possessed by Yakov's Dybbuk. He is plunged into a world of corruption and deceit and thrown back into the arms of a dangerous boy from his past. A boy who means more to Walter than anyone knows. Now, with only days to spare until the Dybbuk takes over Walter's body completely, the two boys must race to track down the killer before the killer claims them next. So, can I just say how fantastic it was to read a book with like Jewish mythology. I am Jewish myself. If you're a regular viewer, you'll know because I go on about it all the time, but represented. But like, it was just so interesting because there's not that many kind of Jewish, fantasy, mythology and stuff. So that is just brilliant. And it was just, I love the twist. I love the characters. And I loved all of it. It was just fantastic. And I have to give it 5 stars because it was just amazing. Okay, next book. The Taking of Jake Livingston by Ryan Douglas. I haven't got that because I sold it on eBay last week. Jake Livingston is one of the only black kids at St Clair's Prep, one of the others being his infinitely more popular older brother. It's hard enough fitting in, but to make matters worse and definitely more complicated, Jake can see the dead. In fact, he sees the dead around him all the time. Most are harmless, stuck in their death loops as they relive their deaths over and over again. They don't interact often with people, but then Jake meets Sawyer, a troubled teen who shot and killed 6 kids at a local high school last year before taking his own life. Now a powerful, vengeful ghost, he has plans for his afterlife, plans that include Jake. Suddenly everything Jake knows about ghosts and the rules to life itself go out the window as Sawyer begins haunting him and bodies turn up in his neighbourhood. High school soon becomes a survival game, one Jake is not sure he's going to win. I was really hyped up about this book for so long. I'd seen it on Instagram and TikTok and everywhere, and I was like, I need to read it. It sounds so good. But I'm really sorry to say I was really disappointed in this book. I don't know. I didn't like the fact that it was just, it just kind of felt to me like it was all over the place and lots of like confusing things. I didn't really get to know the characters. I didn't even get to find out why Jake or how Jake had come across this kind of psychic ability he had. It felt very weird and uncomfortable reading also from the other characters, like Sawyer's mindset, because obviously he was a school shooter, and to kind of put yourself in his mind was just a bit kind of weird. I don't know, I just didn't feel it. I just wasn't liking it at all, so I'm really sorry. DNF'd it and gave it 2 stars. The next book I did love though. I loved it so much so I have now got the rest of the series to read. Thank you, Nathan, my fiance. But yeah, this is Heartstopper Volume 1, graphic novel. I've really got into my graphic novels. Look at the artwork in this. It's just so adorable and so cute and just love it. Alice Oseman, I mean, most people have already heard of this. It's quite a big kind of, it's got a lot of fans, and I can understand why, because it's just amazing. Boy meets boy, boy becomes friends, boys fall in love, and it is just adorable. Charlie and Nick are at the same school, but they've never met until one day when they're made to sit together. They quickly become friends, and soon Charlie's falling hard for Nick, even though he doesn't think he has a chance. But love works in surprising ways, and Nick is more interested in Charlie than either of them have realised. So this is Volume 1, and I love both of them. I love both the characters. I love how they dealt with their kind of sexuality and their friendship and romance and just everything. Like, I love the artwork itself. Like, everything was just adorable. So of course I gave Heartstopper Volume 1 a 5-star rating. Okay. Back to my notes here. Sorry, right. Okay, next one was an audiobook called Salwi by Lupita Nyong'o. Hope I've said that name properly. So I listened to this on an audiobook, once again from BorrowBox, the library. audiobook section. So it was powerful. It's actually a picture book, but they obviously did an audio version as well, which I listened to. It deals with issues of skin colour, self-esteem, and learning that true beauty comes from within. So Sawi has skin the colour of midnight. She's darker than anyone in her family. She just wants to be beautiful and bright like her mother and sister. Then a magical journey in the night sky opens her eyes and changes everything. So I've put, this was a sweet, touching story, and I had a few tears in my eyes. I did. I was like, oh my God, this is a kid's book, but I'm literally like welling up when I was listening to it. It was so beautifully done. The audiobook was just amazing. Really loved it. 5 stars, of course. Next book I have here, so I can show you. This one was blooming fantastic, I'll tell you now. I love this one. This is Me and Mr. J by Rachel McIntyre. I really kind of thought this book was going to be okay, but I didn't think I would love it as much as I loved it. Like, it is fantastic. It's been out quite a while. Like, it's not a new book or anything, but if you haven't read it, I really recommend it. It was so good. Okay, where's my notes? Here we go. Right, Me and Mr. J, Rachel McIntyre. 15-year-old Laura finds her soulmate. There's just one problem. There's a big, major problem. He's her teacher. Laura's life has changed radically since her father lost his job. As the eldest child, Laura tries to keep upbeat, and the one outlet for all her problems is her diary, where she can be open about how dire everything is at home, and worse, the fact that she's been horrifically bullied at school. And then a shining light comes out of the darkness. The new young and male teacher, Mr. Jagger, the one person who takes Laura seriously and notices her potential, the one person who's kind to her, the one person who she falls madly and hopelessly in love with, the one person who cannot share mutual feelings. Can he? So yeah, I've just put, I love this book. It had some light humour because Laura as a character was quite sassy. I loved reading the format of a diary because it was like really getting into her mind and like, you know, reading her words that she'd wrote in the diary. But obviously, apart from it being light and sassy and funny at times with her humour, it also dealt with like real kind of dark subjects like bullying, depression, and kind of self-doubt, and obviously the whole, you know, romance of drama with a teacher. It was just fantastic, and I'm not going to give any spoilers, but the last few pages actually made me feel so emotional. Like, it really, I don't know, I really kind of felt like I was Laura. I can't explain it, but I love this book so much. It was so good, so please check it out. Definitely 5 stars. Next book I haven't got to show you because I sold it on eBay. By the way, can I just say, like most people I know on eBay, but what I do, I read the books, keep them in good condition, then I sell them on eBay. Unless they're like really special to me, or it's a series or whatever, then I keep them. But in general, I just read and sell on, and then the money I get from the books, I can get more books, kind of thing. It's like a circle. But anyway, so yeah, I sold this on eBay, and basically I was really excited for this book and it scared the hell out of me. So it's called The Book of Accidents, and it's by Chuck Wendig. A family returns to their hometown and to the dark past that haunts them. Long ago, Nathan lived in a house in the country with his abusive father and has never told his family what happened there. Long ago, Maddie was a little girl making dolls in her bedroom when she saw something she shouldn't have, and is trying to remember the lost trauma by making haunting sculptures. Long ago, something sinister, something hungry walked in the tunnels, I'm hungry, and the mountains and the coal mines of their hometown in rural Pennsylvania. Now Who's Kate? Now Nate and Maddie Graves are married, and they have moved back to their hometown with their son Oliver. And now what happened long ago is happening again. It's happening to Oliver. He meets a strange boy who becomes his best friend, a boy with secrets of his own and a taste of dark magic. This dark magic puts them at the heart of a battle of good versus evil and a fight for the soul of the family and perhaps all of the world. But the Graves family have a secret weapon in this battle, their love for one another. Yeah, my notes here I've put, I like horror books, but this book was too scary for me. I mean, I suppose you could say, well, why did you get a horror book, Laura, if you don't want to be scared? You'd probably be right, but there's scary and there's like disturbing. And this book, like, I'm not kidding you, like I tell no lie, right? When I was reading this book, I think I read it for like a couple of days before I had to stop reading it at DNF, but I was having the most freaky, horrible dreams, like real kind of vivid dreams. Like I don't know, it creeped me out. So I was like, not getting good vibes from this book. I just found it too disturbing, freaky, scary. I mean, the first few pages are talking about this guy who's literally on the electric chair, ready for an execution. Like, it just, I don't know, there's so many things that were just freaking me out in it and disturbing me that I had to stop reading it, sorry. So I only gave it 2 stars, sorry. Okay, next up, I have this one here. I can show you this. This is The Night She Disappeared by the one that only Lisa Jewell. I love Lisa Jewell books. She is such an amazing writer. Like, I love her books so much. This is just so good. It's her newest book, by the way, if you're a Lisa Jewell fan. And I just loved it so much. So a cold case, an abandoned mansion, family trauma and dark secrets. So 2017, 19-year-old Tallulah is going out on a date, leaving her baby with her mum Kim. Kim watches her daughter leave, and as late evening turns into night, which turns into early morning, she waits for her return. And she waits and she waits and she waits. The next morning, Kim phones Tallulah's friends, who tell her that Tallulah was last seen heading to a party at a house in the nearby woods called the Dark Place, and she never returns. Then skip forward to 2019. Sophie's walking in the woods near the boarding school where her boyfriend has just started work as a head teacher, when she sees a note fixed to a tree saying, "Dig here." I love every book that I've ever read by Lisa Jewell, and there's still a few like of her earlier books that I haven't read yet that I will definitely read at some point in the future. She's just an amazing thriller author, so twisty and just amazing. I didn't want to put this book down. It was exciting, it was gripping, it was interesting. I love the characters, I love the different viewpoints from different characters. I like the fact that some of it was in the past and they're more modern, and it just absolutely fantastic. Of course, a 5 stars. And I'm not going to give any spoilers, but the ending was very good. I didn't expect that ending, so I was really happy with the ending. I thought the ending was fantastic. So yeah, 5 stars for that. Next book I also have here to show you, Hanny and Issue's Guide to Fake Dating, and this is by Abidar J. Giradar. Is that how you say it? I'm so sorry. I get really paranoid that I say names wrong and stuff, but anyway. This is the book. So cute, this cover. Look at that cover. It is just adorable, like the way they're looking at each other and stuff. Love it. So, yeah, basically, everyone likes Humaira Hanny Khan. She's easygoing and one of the most popular girls at school, but when she comes out to her friends as bisexual, they basically don't believe her. They say, "Oh, you're not bisexual, you're not bisexual." So she kind of feels like she has to prove her identity as you know, bisexual. She's only ever dated guys in the past, so she starts panicking and she kind of blurts out that she's in this relationship with a girl her friends absolutely hate, called Issue. So Issue is the complete opposite of Hanny. She's academic, overachiever, who hopes that becoming a head girl will set her on the right track for college life. But Issue agrees to help Hanny if Hanny will help her become more popular, so that she stands a chance of being elected as the head girl. Despite their mutually beneficial pact, they start developing real feelings for each other, but relationships are complicated. Some people will do anything to stop two Bengali girls from achieving happily ever after. So can I say, first of all, love the cover, very, very sweet, cute cover. I still haven't read The Henna Wars by the same author, so maybe I'll check that at some point. But I love the dramas, I love the romance, I love the friendship. I like that kind of enemies to love, not enemies, but they weren't exactly the best of buddies to lovers kind of thing. Like, I liked all of that. The thing I will say, which is a bit of a negative for me, is in my notes here, is that I've put, so basically this author is supposed to be like, you know, kind of giving out that message that you should be accepting of others, you know, with their colour, religion, sexuality, etc. But I did find that there's a lot of like anti-white stuff in this book, like a lot of like, I don't know, like nasty comments about white people, and like all the characters that were white in this book were literally like painted as just being like horrible, nasty people. So yeah, I just thought that. Also quite anti-English as well, so I wasn't keen on that part. But overall, I did enjoy the book, I did enjoy the story, did like the characters, so I gave it 4 stars. The next one I read was a graphic novel, which I love. So many graphic novels. This was absolutely God, this was so amazing. I read so many good books this month. This is by Laurie House Anderson, and the artwork is by Emily Carroll, and it's called Speak. Now, I think originally it was an actual book, but then they've turned it into this graphic novel, so I have to be really careful what artwork I show you, because seriously, there are some dark pictures in here. You know, some of it's okay, but some of it's like, whoa, it even made me a bit uncomfortable. But it needed the artwork to be uncomfortable to explain the story and the character and what was going on, etc. Very beautifully done. So yeah, it's called Speak. And let me hear, hold on. Oh yeah, so the first 10 lies they tell you in high school. Speak up for yourself. We want to know what you have to say. From the very first moment of her freshman year at Merriweather High, Melinda knows that this is a big fat lie, part of the nonsense of high school. She is friendless, outcast, because she busted an end of summer party by calling the cops. So now nobody will talk to her, let alone listen to her. As time passes, she becomes increasingly isolated and practically stops talking altogether. Only her art class offers any solace, and it's through her work in an art project that she's finally able to face what really happened at that terrible party. She was raped by an upperclassman, a guy who still attends Merriweather and is still a threat to her. Her healing process has just begun when she has another violent encounter with him, but this time Linda fights back, refuses to be silent, and thereby achieves a measure of, achievement of that. This was an amazing, powerful graphic novel which dealt with such taboo, dark subjects that need to be discussed, that need to be spoke about. This book really touched me for personal reasons, which I'm not going to kind of go into or share, but I felt very connected to the story, very connected to the character, and it, the artwork was breathtaking. As I say, there was some art in here that was quite dark, but honestly, I hope that people will read this book and it will help them, to literally, as the cover says, speak up. Okay, so yeah, definitely a 5 stars for that one. Very, very, very good. Okay, so the last book I read, hope you're still awake. The last book I read in July. This is oh my god, I never thought I'd be saying this, seriously. I didn't ever think I'd say this. I love this book. So you're going to see in a moment or two the TBR game, which I've already pre-recorded with Nathan, my fiance. And basically, I have some little boxes. I wrote down the names of all the books that I own and I haven't yet read, right? And I put them in sections, for example, thrillers, romance, horrors, that kind of thing, general fiction. And basically, yeah, we roll the dice, then Nathan picks out a bit of paper and sees what the book is, right? Anyway, so last month he chose this book here, this big chunky hardback by a guy called Anton de Beck, who is a dancer on a famous show here in the UK called Strictly Come Dancing. I'm not a fan of Strictly Come Dancing, it's not my cup of tea. Don't get me wrong, I love watching people dance, but anyway, I don't watch it. My mum loves it, but I don't. But it's called One Enchanted Evening, and when he picked it out, I was like, oh no. And he was like, well, why did you buy it originally if it's not a book that you'd want to read? And I said, the reason why I bought this book, I got it for £1 in a charity shop, but I got it because I really love the cover. I thought the cover was just so literally enchanting. But yeah, it's like a historical thing. I was like, so I've never picked it up. It's sat on my bookcase for blooming ages. It's set in 1936 in London, and so anyway, but he picked it out and I was like, okay. So I kind of left it till my last book of the month, right? And I have to say, I was wrong, okay? It takes a woman to confess that she was wrong, and I was wrong. I thought I wouldn't like it, but I loved it. I loved it so much, I want to just carry on reading the rest of the series. I loved it so much that I did actually go on Twitter and tweet Anton de Beck, and I was like, I'm loving your book. That's a true story. So yeah, I loved it. So basically, as I say, set in London, 1936, inside this spectacular grand ballroom in this beautiful exclusive hotel called the Buckingham Hotel. The rich and powerful go there, politicians, film stars, royalty. Then you've got this famous dancer called Raymond de Guice and his troupe of talented dancers from all over the world who must enchant them, captivate them and sweep away their cares. Accustomed to waltzing with the highest of society, Raymond knows a secret from his past could threaten all that he holds dear. Then we have our other kind of main character. There are a few different characters, but Nancy and Raymond are like the main two, I think. So she's the new chambermaid at the hotel. She finds life a bit of a struggle at the hotel first after leaving her small hometown. She dreams of joining the dancers on the ballroom floor as she watches unseen from behind plush curtains and hidden doorways. She soon discovers everyone at the Buckingham, guests and staff alike, have something to hide. The storm clouds of war are gathering, and beneath the glitz and glamour of the ballroom lurks an irresistible world of scandal and secrets. Let's dance. Literally says that, let's dance. So yeah, I just love this. Seriously, yeah, I've put the scandal, the romance, drama, glitz, glamour, and it dealt with serious subjects as well, like anti-Semitism, like having secret children, hiding your sexuality, addiction, you know, I mean, it wasn't just light and fluffy like I thought it was going to be. It was actually beautiful, but also, as I say, dealt with like some serious issues, but in a nice way. It was just amazing. I really want to carry on with the series, and I will carry on with the series. I can't wait to find out more about the hotel and the different characters that are there, and obviously Raymond and Nancy. I love both of the characters, but I have to say I did love Raymond a little bit more. But yeah, 5 stars. 5 stars. I never thought I would say that. 5 stars, Rant on Debeck. So now you want to know what's my book of the month. I always do this. It's really tricky because, as I say, I've had a lot of 5-star reads. Yeah, it's been really difficult for me to choose because one minute I thought, oh, do you know what, it's going to be City Beautiful. Then I was like, no, it's going to be Me and Mr. J. I was even contemplating Anton Debeck. But the book of the month that I've decided to go for is, drum roll, that was a crap drum roll, but it is Lisa Jules, The Night She Disappeared. This is my book of the month. Yeah, and the reason I chose that out of all the other 5 stars is just because I literally couldn't put it down, and like I got to the night time, I was like falling asleep, it's like on the sofa, like just another page, you know, and that is a sign that I really love it. And also I remember waking up really early the next day and just laying in bed, still half asleep, you know, hair tied up, nightdress on, and just reading it because I want to know what happened. And I just love Lisa Jules' writing and the characters. The story was great, the ending was good. So yeah, that is my book of the month. So yeah, if you like thrillers, check it out. Check out all of the books I've mentioned. As I say, you know, hopefully you have enjoyed the video and my reviews and stuff. Like, this is literally just my opinion, my views. Everyone thinks differently. You might, you know, not have liked the books I've mentioned, or you might have loved the books that I didn't like. You know, we're all entitled to our own opinions. If you all like the same things, it would be blooming boring, wouldn't it? So yeah, that's just like literally my views and opinions on the books that I've mentioned. So carry on watching for the TBR game with Nathan and see what book he chooses me for this month. And I've got to say, I obviously know what it is because we've already recorded it, and I was pleasantly surprised. The book it is isn't that old, actually. I haven't even had it, like, I think I've only had it a few months in my bookcase. So yeah, he chose quite a new book, but carry on watching to find out what it is. And really quickly, I'm just going to show you the book I'm currently reading. I just literally started it, so I'm only like 10 pages in, and it is Survive the Night by the one and only Riley Sager. Pre-ordered this, it turned up, I was like, yes. I love Riley Sager books. I've read literally every Riley Sager book. Like, it's a bit like Lisa Jewell, where every book well, there's a few authors, like, I know that I'm going to love their stuff. So Lisa Jewell, Ruth Ware, like, it's just kind of thriller authors that I just love their style. And this is the brand new one from Riley Sager. So I'm not going to tell you about it now because I'll feature this in my next reading wrap up in August. But yeah, so far so good, let's put it that way. Anyway, carry on watching for the TBR game. Don't forget, click like, comment, share, subscribe, smash the bell, and check out MinxLaura123 ASMR, my other YouTube channel, and all the socials, links down below. Come and follow me. Alright everyone, here's the TBR game. Everyone, welcome to the TBR game, and I have my lovely Nathan here as my assistant. Hello Nathan.
Hello, I'm the man with the dice.
You are indeed the man with the dice. So this is a dice-themed TBR game. In these boxes, I have thriller, a mystery, I have general fiction, I have series, I have fantasy, sci-fi, horror books. Basically, I went through all my bookcases, wrote down all the names of the books that I haven't read yet, and there's a lot of them.
There was a few.
Probably too many. And yeah, basically every month, Nathan will pick me a mystery book, and this is how it happens. I get to roll the dice. Okay, so I've got 2 dice here.
Yeah.
And then, do you want to take over?
Yeah. So if you get a 2, 3, or a 4, I have to pick from the thriller and mystery pot.
You do.
If you get a 5, 6, or 7, I have to pick from the general fiction box.
You do.
If it's a 8, 9, or 10, it's fantasy, sci-fi, and horror.
That's right.
And if it's 11 or 12, it's the big old series.
Yeah. I do like the series,
Yeah.
but I suppose I'm more of a standalone girl.
that's
But
why
I need to read
that's
some
why
of my
there's a box
series.
full of
Yeah,
them.
exactly. And I haven't got to read the whole
No.
lot. I've just got to read number 1 in
Yeah.
the series. So that's
And if you like it, no doubt you'll
carry
read the rest
on.
of them.
Yeah. So yeah, you excited?
I'm excited. I'm as excited as these dogs.
Do you like my dog stickers?
The pugs and sausages.
Nothing to do with books,
Right.
but still cute. Right.
Roll your dice.
Okay. Let's do it. What have we got here? 6.
6. What's that from?
General
fiction.
General fiction.
So here we go.
Here we go. Okay. I wonder what we're
Look
gonna
at
get.
that. That's rammed.
It is rammed. These are books that are literally just anything.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't put them
They
into a
could be
category. I
anything,
just
yeah.
thought, yeah, they're fiction. I'll put
Bit
them
of
in here.
everything. So I've picked this one here.
Okay. By the way, the last month's book that
that way.
Nathan chose from the TBR game was Enchanted Evening, One Enchanted Evening.
Yeah.
So good. Didn't think I'd like it, but loved it.
Well,
What's this month's?
This one is also from the same room that last month's was. The
so
box room.
the spare room. Yeah.
The spare room.
Yep.
And it's called Burn Our Bodies Down.
Oh, okay. Burn Our Bodies Down.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that
I don't know.
is.
I think you should go look.
Should we go look? Okay. Okay, so this is the book, and this is actually quite a new book. This is by Rory Power, and it's called Burn Our Bodies Down, who also wrote Wilder Girls, which I haven't read yet. But yeah, I think this is going to be really good. So I think you could have picked another good one in the TBR mystery book game.
That's good then.
So yeah, okay. So that is the book for this month's TBR game, Burn Our Bodies Down by Rory Power.